In this film, Yaşar Doğu is at your age. Do you want to be friends with him? Hello friends, I am the pioneer of Turkish wrestling, Yaşar Doğu. Would you like to know me better? I was born in 1913 in Karlı village of Kavak district of Samsun. My mother's name is Feride and my father's name is Osman. I spent my childhood in Emirli, my grandfather's village. I was also influenced by my grandfather's interest in wrestling. I started wrestling when I was 6 or 7 years old. As you know, wrestling is an ancient ancestral sport. In the old Turkish states, wrestling had a special place and importance in military training, official ceremonies and festivals. In fact, wrestling was quite common among the people. Just like good horse riding and shooting arrows, good wrestling was also considered important and considered a sign of valor. When I was born and grew up, this ancient tradition continued to some extent. Wrestling was always done at weddings, feasts and festivities in villages and towns. In fact, competitions were held among those who wrestled well. Certain awards were given to the best ones, and the wrestlers were respected by almost everyone. I started wrestling in villages, especially in the branches of Karakocak and oil wrestling, which are specific to Turks since my childhood. When I was only 15 or 16 years old, my name was heard as a good wrestler. The Turks called the best wrestler Pehlivan and the best as Baş Pehlivan. Sami Aker, who was a famous wrestler in the region where we lived in those years for his success in wrestling, noticed my talent for wrestling and became my first teacher in wrestling. We were having lessons in rural areas and meadows. He was giving me tactics, teaching me basic techniques. Thus, in addition to my talent, my knowledge about wrestling has also increased. During my military service in Ankara, I signed up for Ankara Wrestling Club through a friend of mine, and in this way I switched to cushion wrestling, the way wrestling is done all over the world. Cushion wrestling is done on the mat. The goal is to bring both shoulders of the opponent to the ground. When you do this, you pin down the opponent, which means you have defeated him. If no one can pin down anyone, the wrestler who collects the most points within a certain time is deemed to have won the match. While my wrestling studies were continuing at Ankara Wrestling Club, those who heard about my skills in wrestling came to watch me. Among them was Finnish Oni Pelinen, who was the coach of the national wrestling team at that time. Pelinen invited me to the national team to wrestle in international competitions. I was now a national athlete. This was a very important turning point both for me and for Turkish sports. My wrestling adventure with the Crescent and Star swimsuit began in 1939 with the European Championship held in Oslo. I won 3 of the 4 competitions I played in total, and lost 1 by points and became the second in Europe. Although I finished second and won the silver medal, my dream was to be first and fly our national flag in the front. That's why I worked harder, and then I managed to be the first in all the competitions I participated in with the national jersey. I achieved an unprecedented success by winning 46 of the 47 matches I played in total, even winning 33 of them by pinning down. Moreover, while a normal wrestler could only win 46 matches in 690 minutes in total, I defeated all my opponents in a short period of 372 minutes and 26 seconds. Because most of the time I was pinning my opponent down a few seconds after the match started, many people were amazed by this feature of mine. During my national career, I won many medals for my country, including 1 Olympic, 1 World and 3 European Championships, and I announced the success of Turkish wrestling to the whole world. These successes have given hope and courage to the young and talented wrestlers and athletes of my country. After quitting wrestling, I continued to serve Turkish wrestling as a national team coach. My aim was to explore talented young people by scanning the country and to contribute to the development of Turkish wrestling by equipping them with wrestling ethics and knowledge. Working for this purpose, I trained many wrestlers who have successfully represented our country in international competitions. Due to my passion for wrestling, my outstanding talent in it, and my services to Turkish wrestling, a wrestling tournament is held today called the National Yaşar Doğu Wrestling Tournament. My name is given to sports schools and sport facilities. Guys, do you know, watching wrestling is also a very enjoyable sport. Even by watching, you can support our ancestral sport and contribute to the development of Turkish wrestling. If you wish, you can be a wrestler like me, or you can be interested in other sports.